Hello everyone, this is Dr. Vikas Kumar. Chetan Bharat Learning once again welcomes you. चलिए, so let's begin. We're discussing logical reasoning और आज again कुछ passages हैं exactly वैसे जैसे CLAT में आते हैं. छोटे छोटे passages और उन पर based कुछ analytical questions. चलिए, the first one, the President of India has sent condolences to Vandana Mishra की family after her death in Kanpur late Friday night. जब उनकी कार carrying her to the hospital was stopped for the presidential convoy. प्रेसिडेंट की कार जा रही होगी तो उनका कन्वॉय जा रहा था, काफी सारी कार्स तो रोड रोक देते हैं वो दूसरा ट्रैफिक, उसके लिए उन्होंने कंडोलेंसेस भेजी हैं. बट व्हाइल द प्रेसिडेंट्स रिस्पॉन्स इज इन कीपिंग विद द ऑब्लिगेशंस ऑफ हिज हाई ऑफिस. जो कानपुर की ट्रेजेडी जिसकी हम बात कर रहे हैं, इट इज बाय नो मीन्स यूनिक. पहले भी ऐसा हो चुका है. वीवीआईपी excuse me, VVIP convoys have become yet another manifestation of a political and administrative culture, जहां पर जो पब्लिक सर्वेंट्स होते हैं ना, उनकी सेल्फ एस्टीम डिपेंड्स ऑन द डिस्टेंस दे कैन मेंटेन फ्रॉम द पब्लिक. सो जितना दूर हो सकते हैं वो लोगों से, उससे उनकी जो सेल्फ एस्टीम है वो मेंटेन होती है या रिफ्लेक्ट होती है. पुलिस जो होती है वो बहुत जेलस होती है, बहुत पैशनेट होती है, इसलिए कि ये इंश्योर हो जाए, बिकॉज दे रिस्पॉन्ड टू अ सिस्टम वेयर पब्लिक इनकन्वीनियंस इज एक्सट्रीमली लो प्रायोरिटी. Statement 1. VVIP convoys in Indian cities are particularly unwelcome, right? ज़्यादातर cities suffer terrible traffic congestion. In Mumbai, it is estimated कि एक trip takes about 53% more time than it should. In Bangalore, it is 51%, and in New Delhi, it is 47%. Baapre. On top of this, there are few green corridors, few, for ambulances. उनके लिए भी जगह कम है. So road blockades set up to smoothen VVIP movement worsen the situation painfully. उनका तो easy हो जाता है, मेरा और आपका, बाकी सबका मुश्किल हो जाता है. There was hope following the 2017 Union Cabinet decision to end the Lal Batti Raj, लेकिन ये खत्म हुआ नहीं. But long snaking VVIP convoys are not part of this change. MLAs from Haryana to Himachal Pradesh have tried to retain traffic privileges with flags atop their vehicles. वो फ्लैग ऊपर लगा के बस इंश्योर हो जाता है कि ट्रैफिक उनके लिए रोक दिया जाएगा, और वो रोक भी दिया जाता है. By contrast, in America, ये जो आइडिया है of holding up citizens for hours for the convenience of politicians would be laughable. वहां तो हंसेंगे लोग इस पे, उनके लिए तो उनके गले से ही नहीं उतरेगी ये चीज. Now statement 2. In New Zealand, जब प्राइम मिनिस्टर का मोटरकेड was caught over the speed limit, प्राइम मिनिस्टर का, it was fined. क्या ऐसा हो सकता है यहाँ पे? It was fined for dangerous driving. In Scandinavian countries, far from reserving a faster lane for themselves, नेताज क्या करते हैं? वो पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट लेते हैं, shoulder to shoulder with citizens. See, this is the direction our democracy must take to. हमारे यहाँ तो वीआईपी कल्चर ही बहुत बहुत प्रोमिनेंट है. For VVIP protection, state must deploy smarter security arrangements, absolutely right, जिससे आम जनता तो न तंग हो, and nix those convoys. जब public servants are driven, let the public not be driven to despair. हमें ना तंग करें, जैसे मर्जी जाएं. All right, which among the following is the most significant message conveyed by the author? VVIP system is not suitable for countries like India since it causes inconvenience to common people. Is the most significant message. नहीं. VVIP system is not suitable for countries like India since it causes inconvenience. वो culture से, system से नहीं हो रहा वो. और ये reason नहीं है because it causes convenience to common people. वो system कैसे चलाया जा रहा है VVIP system, वो देखना है. Second, a public servant's self-esteem carries a lot more significance than never. ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता, नेगेटिव सा एक ऑप्शन है. It is time that the state does away, यानी छोड़ दे इन आदतों को, with convoys and brings up a smarter security system for VVIPs. Better. यहाँ कहाँ भी है इन्होंने deploy smarter security arrangements. बहुत easy है. The president should be held responsible for the death of Vandana Mishra. President तो नहीं, लेकिन ये traffic management ये responsible है. What is the role played by statements marked 1 and 2? अब हम देखते हैं statements 1 and 2 हैं कौन सी. ये आपके सामने statement 1 है और न्यूजीलैंड से शुरू होती है statement 2. चले. Okay, option 1. 1 and 2 are used as evidence to support two different claims of the author. क्या ये सिर्फ एविडेंस है different claims के, या फिर B is a claim of the author and 2 is used as evidence to support as a subsequent argument. 1 is a claim of the author. Claim क्या है कि सब कुछ सही नहीं है. Second is used as evidence. Absolutely. Second उसका evidence है कि देखो वहां भी तो ये होता है, and we are not doing it, right? Therefore B is the correct answer. And 1 is the main claim, not at all. Main claim तो end में आया है. Rather 1 is one of the claims of the author and 2 supports that claim. ये evidence है second. So the word evidence makes it a much better choice. Next one. What direction should India take from the various countries mentioned in the passage? Hold up citizens for long hours for politicians. ये तो उन्होंने mention नहीं किया है. Levying a penalty on the vehicles of the politicians for violating traffic rules. Absolutely right. जो उन्होंने कहा है कि न्यूजीलैंड में फाइन हो गया था, right? Oblige politicians to use public transport. Not necessarily. So only 2. Absolutely correct. Now, if the information set out in the passage is true, which among the following must be true? The tragedy that happened due to the convoy of the president is one of the last such tragedies. Nobody knows. ये तो होती रहेंगे इंडिया में तो. At least one political and administrative manifestation should be done away in India. Absolutely right. कुछ तो होना. Deploying smarter security systems for VVIP convoys is a one-stop solution. One-stop solution क्या होता है? सिर्फ यही, वो नहीं है. Perils of democracy, not at all. VVIP convoys should not be done away within a democracy such as India. ये तो contrary जा रहे हैं message के. While giving examples of Western countries, which among the following assumptions is made by the author? The traffic situation in Indian and Western countries is broadly similar. Western countries की अगर बात करते हैं, which among the following assumptions is made? क्योंकि उन्होंने Scandinavian countries भी बोला है. The traffic situation in Indian and Western countries is broadly similar. Broadly मतलब traffic situation मतलब बहुत सारा traffic है. Traffic management नहीं, तो situation तो similar है. बहुत सारा traffic है वहां भी यहाँ भी. All countries being mentioned in the example are democracies, not at all. This is, beyond the context. Politicians should be held responsible for their actions. Not at all. All right. Passage 2. Getting re-elected is a heady feeling, right? The incumbent, जो अभी in the chair है. Leaders of Kerala, Assam and West Bengal have every right to be pleased with themselves and deserve kudos. दोबारा elect होंगे ना. Mamata Banerjee deserves special commendation for not just surviving, लेकिन raising her party's vote share in a battle in which she forsook the safety of her traditional seat and took the challenge to her local rivals, his home turf. तो काफी difficult battle था, risk भी था उनकी सीट को. However, ये गलती होगी for these parties to think they just need to keep doing what they have been doing for a repeat performance 5 years from today. वही करते रहेंगे क्योंकि situation तो change हो रही है, तो फिर आप जरूर नुकसान उठाएंगे. Politics keeps changing. Absolutely correct. Throwing up fresh challenges. Past achievement could lull, यानी एक respite सा दे देते हैं, break सा the achievers into a false sense of complacence. तो वो complacent हो जाते हैं, वो grow करना छोड़ देते हैं. That would be a big mistake. Pinarayi Vijayan in Kerala impressed the normally cynical Malayalis with his crisis management skills. However, state हमेशा permanent crisis में नहीं हो सकती. For him to keep impressing his voters, एक ही टेक्निक से, एक ही प्रॉब्लम तो हमेशा रहेगी नहीं. He needs new ideas for economic development of the state beyond the welfareism he has perfected as part of crisis management. जो BJP है ना, the BJP in Assam got a free pass. Why? Because of the listless Congress leadership of the state. What should have been the Congress leadership is with the BJP, leaving the Congress with the scion of its 3-time chief minister to lead the party with few credentials. कोई ज्यादा credentials नहीं है, बहुत ज्यादा जाने माने नहीं जाते, other than his lineage जो चली आ रही है. That would not be the case forever. बीजेपी को क्या करने की जरूरत है? They have to find a solution to the NRC crisis it has created. Mamata Banerjee would do well to appreciate that the BJP's campaign against the appeasement होता है मनाना. Appeasement politics has a lot of purchase among the people. लोगों को खुश रखना. Further, people expect less corruption and hate the culture of political violence. लोगों को पसंद नहीं है political violence. Even if successful politicians are ill-disposed towards unsolicited advice. All right, out of the following, which is the most appropriate idea? ठीक है, Mamata Banerjee must prove to her state that she is capable. ना, पैसे Mamata Banerjee के बारे में थोड़ा है सिर्फ. She is an example. Leaders who are elected for the first time would do well to keep complacency out of their way. Not for the first time. Re-election की बात हुई थी उसमें. Getting re-elected. Yeah, here we go. Does not give the leaders a license for being complacent. Absolutely. तो अगर आप re-elect हो भी गए हैं, even then you need to work hard. Which among the following views can be reasonably attributed to the author? Politics is a volatile field and adaptable people would do a lot better here. Volatile जो कुछ ना कुछ होते रहता है जिसमें, और ये idea है भी सही. Leaders do not have a right to celebrate. ऐसा नहीं है. The BJP in Assam did not have to work hard for being elected. No, they had to work hard. None of the views can be reasonably attributed. No. Which among the following is an assumption made by the author? Parties are mistaken for thinking that they can keep doing what they did now and get re-elected after 5 years. This is not the assumption. Being complacent for a leader who is re-elected is not impossible. ये possibility है. ये तो conclusion है, but ये possibility है. So there you go. It is the best assumption. What is the technique used by the author to frame his arguments? The author gives a background, makes his claim and follows it with pieces of evidence. Absolutely, Mamata Banerjee, then Assam. बिल्कुल सही. The author rejects a generalization by showing that it fails. No, not at all. The author makes a casual argument. Casual तो कहीं भी नहीं हुए वो. Or illogical premises, all negative options. The author rejects an idea about the particular event. Not at all. Next one. Which among the following is true about the states and the leaders mentioned? Pinarayi Vijayan has performed well only when his state is going through a crisis. Which among the following is true about the states and the leaders mentioned? Not at all. Because, excuse me, ऐसा नहीं है कि only through a crisis. लेकिन वो ये कहा गया था कि situation अगली बार अलग हो सकती है. The problem of NRC has been created by the people of one of our neighboring countries and the BJP should solve it. Not at all. Beyond the context जा रहे हैं. Mamata Banerjee's appeasement politics is not found to be affable among the people. So, seems to be the correct answer. Yeah? What is affable? Friendly. Sociable. So, Mamata Banerjee की जो appeasement politics थी is not found to be affable among the people. Correct. तभी तो कह रहे हैं ना कि हर बार ये strategy नहीं चलती. चलिए. So, filmmakers around the world have often made extraordinary efforts to keep cinema alive. Under a repressive regime in Iran, directors such as Kiarostami, Mohsin Malbaf and Majid Majidi, these people fought for art as a basic social need with films, right? Like Where is the Friend's Home, The Cyclist, and Children of Heaven. India में during the emergency when the government apparatus came down heavily on any criticism, Prince of Amrit Nahata's political satire, किस्सा कुर्सी का, ये बड़ी एक आर्ट फिल्म टाइप थी और बहुत ही अच्छी फिल्म भी है. Filmed in 1975 were destroyed. कहा जाता है कि इस फिल्म ने बहुत कंट्रोवर्सी कर दी थी. तो जो रजीम थी उससे ये बर्दाश्त नहीं हुआ कि लीडर्स को चैलेंज या क्रिटिसाइज करने वाली, सेंश्योर करने वाली एक फिल्म आई है. इट वाज फाउंड टू बी वेरी प्रॉब्लमैटिक. Even though a revised version was released in 78, it invited several cuts. Naturally, it would have. पिछले कुछ सालों के लिए the CBFC has objected to the content of several films, right? Ordering cuts. अब एक proposed amendment to the Cinematograph Act 1952 will make it even more difficult for filmmakers to work on thorny or controversial subjects. The draft bill, which has been put out for public comments, उसमें एक provision है that allows the government to order recertification of a film already certified. अब अधिकार गवर्नमेंट के पास चला गया है. Filmmakers argue कि जो नया provision है ना, that adds one more layer of censorship. Absolutely right. अब एक फिल्म को मान लीजिए एक कोई सर्टिफिकेट मिल गया है सेंसर बोर्ड से, उसको एक और लेना पड़ेगा सरकार से, अगर वो सरकार भी सही मानती है उसको, नहीं तो सरकार उसको रीसर्टिफाई कर सकती है एज समथिंग एल्स. ऑलरेडी इन अप्रैल द गवर्नमेंट टुक द ऑर्डिनेंस टू स्क्रैप द फिल्म सर्टिफिकेट एपेलेट ट्रिब्यूनल. एक ऐसी बॉडी जो ऑटोनमस होके काम किया करती थी एंड ये अपील्स ऑफ फिल्म मेकर्स के अपील सुनती होती थी, तो उसको हटा दिया, तो सारी अथॉरिटी तो अपने पास रख ली. In 2000, the Supreme Court had upheld the verdict of the Karnataka High Court in the K.M. Shankarappa versus Union of India case that the Union government cannot exercise revisional powers. मना किया था कोर्ट ने कि आप revisional powers नहीं रख सकते अपने पास in respect of films that are already certified by the CBFC, क्योंकि फिर otherwise CBFC है क्यों? The draft acknowledges the existing apex court order but has added एक और clause that on receipt of any references by the central government in respect of a film certified for public exhibition on account of violation of section this, central government है ना, it may, अगर उसको सही लगता है, if it considers it necessary so to do, direct the chairperson of the board to re-examine. तो वो re-examine करने के लिए उनको कह सकते हैं. अब जो provision है of section 5B, the draft says is derived from article 19 of the constitution, which, ये बहुत important है, ध्यान से पढ़िए, which imposes reasonable restrictions upon the freedom of speech. यानी कुछ होना चाहिए लेकिन reasonable होना चाहिए. Expression in the interest of sovereignty and integrity, यानी country को कोई नुकसान ना हो पाए. New restrictive laws have come into place for over-the-top platforms as well, giving the government powers to vet कर देना, काट फाट देना, select करना, reject करना. Content not only curbs freedom of expression, it does बिल्कुल, but also quells democratic dissent. वो ना एक democratic dissent बढ़ाता है. Dissent मतलब unrest. Fresh barriers to content generation are a threat to the existing space for public discourse and are indicative of the current pressures. Absolutely right. Clearly, the central concern of the passage is A, definitely, a new layer of censorship to the cinema. True. यही तो central theme है कि वो जो सरकार ने अपने पास authority रख ली है. Difference between cinema around the world, दूसरे countries की बात ही नहीं हुई. Implications of a Supreme Court order, not at all. Functions of central board, not at all. Out of the following options, the author suggests that the constitution makers of India committed an error, not at all. वो तो कहा ही उन्होंने कि freedom of expression को kill किया है, तो उन्होंने गलती कहाँ की? Some of the provisions of draft amendment sought to be made to be this, yes, unreasonable. यही उनका मतलब है. Government का proposal to draft amendments are complete in line, no, and this is also wrong. What is the most appropriate message the author wants to convey? जब अमृत नहाता किस्सा कुर्सिका की बात हुई है, देखिए उन्होंने ना डिग्री बताई है सेंसरशिप की, किस लेवल की सेंसरशिप थी. सो द ऑथर wants to suggest that किस्सा कुर्सी का was one of the finest novels. नहीं, ज्यादा बात नहीं हुई उसके बारे में. Author wants to prove that the lack of original content, not at all. The author wants to explain the degree of censorship. Yes, that was prevalent during that time in India. कि उस लेवल की censorship थी. Which among the following does not strengthen the government's stance? Does not strengthen about draft amendments. Last year, a film named क्रांति incited violence. तो अगर किसी फिल्म ने वायलेंस इंसाइट कर दी फिर तो गवर्नमेंट सही प्रूव हो गई. हमें ऑप्शन वो चाहिए जो गवर्नमेंट को गलत प्रूव करे. ये चला गया. Second, India is not the first democratic country around the world to bring in censorship laws. ये भी इससे भी गवर्नमेंट सही हो गई. Third, Pakistan, a democratic country, brought a similar amendment law last year and its impact was quite visible on production of cinema. That puts the government in bad light. हाँ, this has to be the correct one. इसी से प्रूव हो रहा है कि ये नहीं करना चाहिए सरकार को. चलिए, let's move to the next passage. Natural processes which dispose of carbon dioxide are, in totality, in aggregate, rather slow है, जिसका मतलब है that an increase in the atmosphere की carbon dioxide, I'm so sorry for that, carbon dioxide level will left to itself last a long time. अब इस सिचुएशन में द लेवल ऑफ द गैस कैन नॉट बी लोअर्ड सिंपली बाय स्टेबलाइजिंग द रेट ऑफ एमिशन. इसके उल्टा एमिशंस मस्ट बी कट टू जीरो बिकॉज हार्म जो है ना, द हार्म द गैस डज, वो स्लो है एंड क्यूमुलेटिव है, लेकिन है बेनिफिट्स फॉर एनी सच कट्स इन एमिशन वेल विल बी डिलेड एंड अनसर्टेन, वेयरएज द कॉस्ट्स आर ऑल अपफ्रंट. कॉस्ट ज्यादा है. गैस की लॉन्गेविटी का मतलब है इट इज स्प्रेड मोर और लेस इवनली. कहीं ज्यादा इवन है, कहीं कम इवन है अराउंड द वर्ल्ड, विद द रिजल्ट दैट द फेट ऑफ अ कंट्रीज क्लाइमेट किस पर डिपेंड करता है? नॉट ऑन इट्स ओन एमिशंस बट ऑन दोज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड एज अ होल. तो सभी जगह पर असर हो रहा है ना. A challenge that requires fundamental shifts in the energy economy globally with benefits for a long time coming was never going to be easy. मुश्किल तो होना ही था ये, और है भी. So the following will follow the highlighted sentence. All right. Okay. Last sentence की शायद बात हो रही है. That is why countries are worried about the health consequences. ये वाला sentence. इसके बाद कौन सा sentence आएगा? That is why countries are worried about the health. No. That is why countries are investing in newer technologies. That is why countries are reluctant to cut carbon emissions to zero. Yes. यहां पे जो बात हुई है कि never going to be an easy one to solve, और ये क्या है? पीछे जाए हम, ये must be cut to zero. और मुश्किल है, ये कॉस्ट भी ज्यादा है, इसीलिए reluctant to cut. According to the passage, if emission levels are cut to zero, global warming can be arrested immediately. ये तो नहीं है, immediately तो नहीं कहा उन्होंने. Benefits will be slow and cumulative, ये भी नहीं कहा उन्होंने. Benefits will be a long time coming, absolute long time, अगर हो गया तो. According to the passage, which of the following can be inferred? Countries are investing in technologies, ये उन्होंने नहीं कहा है. Natural processes can be tweaked to dispose of carbon more quickly. Natural processes को tweak करने की बात भी उन्होंने नहीं की है. Countries realize that ultimately carbon will be disposed of and there is no need to invest in emission. उल्टा कह रहे हैं. As of now, countries can only depend on, yes, absolutely, national processes to dispose of carbon. क्योंकि ऐसा कोई universal method अभी तक उनके हाथ तो लगा है नहीं. Fine, I hope you've been able to understand all these questions and their respective answers. Very soon we shall meet again. तब तक जो हमने पढ़ लिया है उसे please पढ़िए. All the best for your preparations. Take care. Bye bye.